Hello, friends. We thank everyone who are actively communicating with us for their queries and suggestions. Please feel free to call us, contact us for compressed air system related queries. We will be happy to assist you. This is our third session focusing on air compressor details and terminologies used. This is part 2 of the air compressor controls. So let's begin our knowledge sharing on air compressors. As air systems seldom operate at full load all of the time, the ability to efficiently control flow at part loads is essential. The type of control specified for a given system is largely determined by the type of compressor being used and the facility's demand profile. If a system has a single compressor with a very steady demand, a simple control system may be appropriate. On the other hand, a complex system with multiple compressors, varying demand, and many types of end users will require a more sophisticated strategy. In any case, careful consideration should be given to both compressor and system control selection because they can be the most important factors affecting system performance and efficiency. Various individual compressor control strategies exist, including the following. This control mode is sometimes called online-offline control. It keeps the motor running continuously but unloads the compressor when the discharge pressure is adequate. Unloaded rotary screw compressors typically consume 15 to 35% of their full load power demand while producing no useful compressed air output. Optional unload timers are available that will save energy by automatically turning off the compressor and placing it in standby. If the unit runs unloaded for a period of time, usually 15 minutes. Load alert control strategies require significant control storage receiver capacity for efficient part load operation. Modulating inlet control allows the output of a compressor to be varied to meet flow requirements. Throttling is usually accomplished by closing down the inlet wall, thereby restricting inlet air to the compressor. This control scheme is applied to centrifugal and rotary screw compressors. This control method, when applied to displacement compressors, is an inefficient means of varying compressor output. When used on centrifugal compressors, more efficient results are obtained, particularly with the use of inlet guide vanes, which direct the air in the same direction as the impeller inlet. The amount of capacity reduction is limited by the potential of surge and minimum throttling capacity. The figures in the slide show the modulation mechanism wherein the inlet wall is throttled to reduce the intake air capacity, which is directly proportional to the compressor output. The discharge pressure is measured with a pressure transmitter, which then transfers signal to the compressor PLC, which in turn controls the inlet valve operation. The inlet modulation valve may be pneumatically operated or electrically operated. Pictures show inlet valves in screw and centrifugal air compressors. Some lubricated rotary screw compressors vary their output capacity using special capacity control valves, also called as spiral, turn or poppet valves. With a variable displacement control scheme, the output pressure and compressor power consumption can be closely controlled without having to start, stop or load unload the compressor. This control method has good efficiency at points above 60% loading. Use of pressure switch activated unloading controls at flows below 40% capacity can significantly reduce power consumption at lower flows. They are also termed as variable displacement compressors. This slide shows the operating philosophy of the geometry control system. This type of controls is found to be used in very limited proportions compared to other controlling mechanisms. The main reason being the maintenance involved in the poppet valve. This control method varies the speed of the compressor to respond to changes in air demand. Both lubricated and oil-free screw compressors can be purchased equipped with variable speed drive controls that continuously adjust the drive motor speed to match the variable demand requirements and maintain constant pressure. These compressors usually operate in on-off or load alert control when air loading drops below the minimum speed of the drive. In most cases, a variable speed drive compressor offers the most efficient part load operation. Ideally, when there are multiple air compressors at a facility, one or more fixed speed compressors would supply the base load compressed air and a VSD compressor would be used to supply the fluctuating or trim load. This is the simplest and most efficient control strategy. It can be applied to either reciprocating or rotary screw compressors. Essentially, the motor driving the compressor is turned on or off in response to the discharge pressure of the machine. For this strategy, a pressure switch provides the motor start-stop signal. Start-stop strategies are generally appropriate for compressors smaller than 30 horsepower in size. Repeated starts may cause the motor to overheat and place greater maintenance demands on compressor components. For this reason, care should be taken in sizing storage receivers and maintaining wide working pressure bands to keep motor starts within allowable limits. Table shows the different ranges and pressure band to be considered before selecting any compressor. For small intermittent requirements, auto on-off type compressors are more suitable, mainly for reciprocating and screw types. With variable demand, compressors with inbuilt VFD is preferred as their part load efficiencies are good, but they should not work towards 100% load. For higher pressure requirements, that is more than 20 bar, reciprocating multi-stage compressors should be preferred. Centrifugal compressor is more efficient and economical when selected for 2000 CFM and bigger requirements. They are good in specific power when they work as base load machines, that is more towards 100% load. Cost factor should be the last criteria for compressor selection, as in compressor life cycle cost plays only 4%, rest is energy cost only, that is around 80%. Relative humidity and atmospheric temperature, that is the dry bulb temperature, directly affect the compressor output and power consumption. Increase in RH directly affects the compressor efficiency as the moisture contained in atmospheric air increases. After compression, this moisture condenses and is then taken out from the system. Increase in inlet air temperature also affects the compressor efficiency as the mass flow rate decreases with higher inlet air temperatures. This is more relevant and visible in centrifugal compressors, and the compressor capacity can decrease up to 5% when compared with summer and winter conditions. Graphs here show the impact of humidity, inlet air temperature on centrifugal compressors. Dry bulb temperature and relative humidity have a bigger impact on centrifugal compressors compared to reciprocating and screw type compressors. With this, we would be concluding with air compressor knowledge sharing. Our next session will focus on other components in compressed air system. Stay connected. Thank you.
Hope you liked our session. For more such informative and educative training sessions, do subscribe and watch our future videos. For any queries, you can contact or email us on efficomair@gmail.com. Thank you.